All right, welcome back to the 215 Sports Show. I'm Donovan Kranich here with Jack Morgan, bringing you episode 6 of the 215 Sports Show. We're already 6 weeks into it. Well, more than that with break.
Oh, yeah, like 8 or 9, ironically.
Yeah. Well, we got a full slate to talk about. The Phillies are underway, almost done their second series. The game is actually on right now. The Flyers and the Sixers both trying to make that final push to get a playoff spot. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's start with the Phillies, though, because we do have the game on, and if something happens, we're going to need some context behind it.
Yes. Yeah, we do.
So they had their first series against the Rangers, and I'd say after opening day, a 5-3 win with 10 Ks from Sanchez, I'd say we were feeling pretty good, no?
Yeah, it was a great start.
It was a great start. You had a Schwarber in the first inning, which was so refreshing to see. Alec Boehm went yard, a 3-run homer. Turner, Stott, Marsh, and Crawford all had 2 hits. It was a great day. I was on the Phillies high. Besides the last few innings, Kyle Backus had 3 earned runs at the end. Duran didn't look great.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a positive game. And then, then you go to the rest of the game. So games 2 and 3 and game 1 of the Nats series, I'd say were honestly some of the lowest points I've even had as a Phillies fan, which is crazy to say because it's the first series of the year. But it was just like the worst product of Phillies baseball that I've probably seen since 2021. And I don't even know if that's an exaggeration. Nola, he had 7 Ks. Okay, if you look at the box score, it's not that bad. But he had 5 hits and 3 earned runs. He looked terrible. Luzardo looked even worse with he had 7 Ks, but 6 hits and 6 earned runs, and it's like it couldn't get much worse. And then the first game of the Nats, Taijuan Walker walked in and said, "Watch this," and he was only in there for 4.2 innings or 4 2/3, whatever.
Channeled his inner Katy Perry.
Dude, 10 hits, 6 earned runs, and 3 walks. Only 2 Ks, bro. 2 strikeouts. Are we kidding? And on top of that,
Katy Perry's song "Roar." Like, he went out there and he was singing that as he was walking to the mound. So, yeah, you disrespect me. All right, I'll show you why you disrespect me. Here's a meatball.
Yeah.
Or 5 or 10. It was ridiculous.
And
see, I think that – finish what you're saying for a second.
Well, I was just going to say that the pitching was bad, but it doesn't help that the bats were likely even worse.
Jesus, Sanchez living on the edge here. Good Lord.
The second game of the year, they really didn't get anything going until the 9th inning. In the last game of the Rangers series, it was like Stott was their best batter, and he had 1 hit, like 1 RBI. And, a 13-2 loss against the Nats. They sat Crawford, which was crazy. I think it would have been closer with Crawford in there because there was a few defensive plays that he probably would have made that Marsh didn't. Which no shade to Marsh for the most part because he's been one of our best batters. I just think Crawford's much better defensively. And we'll touch on him in a minute because he's been incredible. And then you win last night, but it's a 3-2 win. Garcia with 2 hits was probably the bright spot.
Yeah.
I think Garcia's been the best batter this team has seen so far this year.
Yeah, I think I bring a different view to this right now, and it's like I am genuinely of the fact that it's only this is only the 5th game. Like, I know, like, everyone is saying, like, it's only the 5th game, but God, they look awful. Like, yeah, they look bad, but, like, it's only the 5th game. And if you historically look at the Phillies' starts to the season over the last however many years, I would say since 2022, it's been pretty bad. Like, they don't really get out the gates very well often. The 2024 year was the only exception. In fact, I think they waited to win the first game until it was against the Yankees back in 2023. That was a bad start to the year, but they turned it around. This team really thrives in the summer. Some of the pitchers clearly thrive in the summer, like Aaron Nola. I think that they need to get something going once we get towards the end of May. Right now it's only 5 games, and I still feel like they got the pitching not too bad. I thought Luzardo was great for about 3.5, 4 innings. He looked good. He looked good for over half his starts, just couldn't finish strong, and that sucks. However, when you look at spring training and the outings they were having, they're not going more than 2 or 3 innings. So I think already I'm like one of those rare people. I think it's a disservice to not pitch them more than like around the order twice when they're in the spring training. Sorry, I think that's a little ridiculous. Like, all right, so then they come out here and they really start off well, and then crap hits the fan. I wonder why. Maybe it's because they haven't pitched that many innings before in the last half a year. Like, shocker. So, I will say with that, I thought Nola looked terrible. And there's no
And
excuse
Taijuan.
possible for him. And Taijuan Walker was just I don't think Taijuan Walker's on this team by May.
On the
Jenny,
team
like,
or in the rotation?
I don't think he's on the team. I think he gets sent down. Maybe they bring him into a long relief role, but man, you continue to double down on a mighty poor hand with Taijuan Walker, and you're getting Zach Wheeler back. So you got all these guys like Boland's warming up. This is where I get mad. But like, I don't know. I'm not in on Taijuan Walker even being on this team. I think they've given him plenty of chances, including the chance they're giving him right now in the rotation in the midst of the injuries they're dealing with. So I don't understand why he should even be on the team once again. Send him down to AAA, dude. Ride out the remainder of this contract. Just eat the money. It sucks, but that's where you're at right now. We've done enough of this Taijuan Walker experiment. So I'm still of the thinking that I think this team will get the bats going. Way too many good players on this team for them to not. I think they will at some point. Obviously, like Donovan, I hope it's soon.
Yeah. I mean, Wheeler coming back, that's massive, obviously. He was one of the best pitchers
That'll be clutch.
across the MLB last year. Sanchez has looked incredible, especially in that first start, and even Painter, who we can talk on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on your point real quick because it is only 5 and a half games through the season, and people are overreacting. But I think the reason that you're seeing more attention towards it this year more than other years is because of the finish that you had last year against the Dodgers, which was disappointing. The bats went cold in October, and I guess they're still frozen. They haven't thawed out yet. And then in the offseason, your big addition was Garcia. Now, Garcia's been about the best bat. He's much better than Castellanos looked last year. But I still don't think he should come in and be your best player unless he's playing at like an MVP level because you have guys like Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, etc. So I think that's the main reason it's getting so much attention is because they continue to go back with the same roster, and now we're at the start of the season, and it's not looking like it's working, at least not to the extent that you want it to. So
Nasty pitch by Sanchez there.
Yeah.
There you go. They got out of the fifth inning.
I think that's 7 for him, is it, or 6 strikeouts?
That would be, I think, 6.
All right, 6. I need one more. Anyway, but in terms of Painter, Andrew Painter had his debut last night, as well as Porter Martone, who we'll get to the Flyers in a minute. But I mean, he looked incredible, Andrew Painter.
Yeah, he did.
5 1/3. He only had 4 hits. He had 1 earned run, but wasn't even on the mound for it. So it's kind of disappointing. But 8 Ks and
Also,
only one walk.
the run wouldn't have scored if it didn't bounce off the feet of the runner. I think it was a foot of the runner just went careening into the netting, and they're just like, well, that's a little ridiculous. But yeah, it is what it is. I thought he looked good though.
It's disappointing. I
Good.
thought he looked really good. The fastball was working for him towards the end. Yeah, and I was gonna
stuff
say.
is nasty.
Yeah.
That first strikeout was just like
It was
when
like
he
80
threw
miles
it,
an hour.
and I'm like, just like, whoa. Like that took me back to how nasty that pitch was, and just the ugly swing by the Nats leadoff, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's you don't see that from very many pitchers. But Painter's been touted since a little after COVID, so think about how long ago that was. It's been a long time. Like it's been over 1,200 days since the Phillies drafted him. So it's really exciting to see. Obviously, Tommy John slowed him down, but there's some pitchers that with Tommy John, they get it early on in their career. It actually helps them. Is the irony of the whole thing? There's actual like scientific reasoning for it, but maybe that's the case with Painter. I mean, he just had that bad stretch in AAA last year, but he was just coming off that big injury. So I certainly think that Painter can be a mainstay in this rotation. Obviously, I'm holding my breath a little bit because obviously sometimes with pitchers, they have really good first few outings. The teams start to Teams start to figure him out a little bit, right? And how is he going to react to that? I think he's got enough talent to the point where he can kind of counteract that and come up with a bunch of different ways to get out. So I'm hopeful for Painter, and how could he not be out to a great start like that?
Yeah, and I think especially after the 3 losses and then that 13-2 loss, the game right before it, just the crowd getting into it, the standing ovation he got when he went out there to start, and the one he got when he exited the game. I think it was just, if you can get a win here and win the series and kind of turn around that 3-game losing streak, I think you're in a good position. And who do we have next? The Rockies?
We do have the Rockies.
Yeah,
and
so,
then
I mean, you should win that
Giants.
series with
Yeah.
ease. And the Giants haven't looked great, so.
Now, the Giants win last night?
I think they did, yeah.
So I have 500.
Yeah.
However, or not
They
that
got
500. They're
swept
2
by
and
the
3.
Yankees, so.
Yeah, they looked really bad in that series, but
I think Bader went yard last night.
of course he did. Of course he did. That's the most devastating part of watching opening night was seeing Harrison Bader.
To be fair, though, the bats, specifically from the outfield in terms of Crawford, Marsh, and Garcia, have literally been our best 3 batters, so.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I still feel like that's.
I mean, having Bader in that sort of rotation.
Man, it would have been.
It would have been. I mean, you saw it. What was it? It was either last night or not last night. It was the 13-2 loss when Marsh was in center field. He looked terrible from a defensive position. So.
That's kind of weird. Well, because I don't really think Marsh is that bad.
No.
I think he's a pretty solid defender. In fact, we've seen it in the last couple of days, in the last 24 hours. Yeah, that play to save the game.
Last night,
And then, I think just an inning ago, good job staring a pitch right down the middle, Schwarber. But then, the other night, a couple innings ago, made this great play ranging back.
Right.
Reaching up, I believe saved a run too. So, I mean, Marsh, certainly, they moved him around to left field now, and they have the opportunity to do that. I still think that, man, now that they're moving guys around left field and now I'm really mad that they didn't re-sign Bader. Now I'm mad. But no, I've been impressed with Marsh. Great start for him. Hopefully look to keep going. I think after the first month of play, I think once you get 100 at-bats, that's when I kind of am able to start. I think when people should start to really should start to get tough on players, I think. Get 500 at-bats in a season if you're an everyday player. If after 100 you're still hitting, if Bryce Harper's still hitting in the hundreds, I mean, I'm not going to be very happy.
He's not even in the hundreds right now. I think he's
he's
now.
under. He's 0.95 after his last at-bat. So he's, prove me wrong, right? Don't you? No. So lineouts. I think the irony of it all is that I'm still some of these at-bats are getting really good hits. Kyle Schwarber's hitting 115. He scorched a ball today, and he's hit 2 homers. He's got some good contact, and it's only a matter of time. I still believe in this team. It sucks that, at the end of the day, they have to get into a rhythm, and sometimes it takes a little bit. And the reality of the MLB playoffs is that you need to get hot right away.
Yeah.
You either carry in what you've been doing, or you need to be ready. So I think it's kind of an arse backwards type situation where it's just you play 162 games, you get into this rhythm, now it's decided in 3 games. I think it's kind of just the agony of playing Major League Baseball. Man, it's the game of baseball. So, but I think that eventually the Phillies will get it going, and it will be a fun summer. I need it to be a fun summer.
Yeah, I really hope so.
We cannot do a 500 summer. I don't know what I'll do.
Yeah.
Not good.
My only real concerns right now is the middle of that pitching rotation with Nola and Luzardo. Luzardo I'm less worried about, but Nola and Taiwan until Wheeler comes back, which should be soon.
I'm horrified about.
Yeah, and you want to see more out of Bryce Harper. I think for the most part, he'll likely be fine. Probably not what we've seen in the past few years from him, but as long as he can get going, I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to be batting 100 for the whole year, and if so, he needs to be pushed back in the order.
That would really suck
Yeah.
if that's what happens. But no, I think overarching theme is that it's still early. There are some discouraging trends. However, I do think the Phillies have shown enough in regular seasons of the past to say, hey, they'll figure it out.
And the schedule's favorable
Playoffs,
for them to get into a rhythm right now with the Rockies and the Giants. So
exactly, yeah. The schedule plays out really well in their favor in the first month.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll wrap up the Phillies segment. We wanted to get that out of the way in case anything happens in the game. You have all our opinions already.
Yes.
But we have 2 teams in Philly making a little bit of a playoff push. One of them with a game tonight in the Sixers, but one of them who played a game last night, the Flyers.
Man, I wish I would have won that game.
Yeah.
I really thought when they tied it up 2-2,
Oh my
I had
gosh,
this
yeah.
feeling of like, dude, they're going to pull another rabbit out. I mean, that's incredible. I still like the effort, though.
Nonetheless, 3-1 since our last episode. A good win against a very good win against the Red Wings.
And also, no, I'm not apologizing yet.
Not
Make
yet.
the playoffs. Make the playoffs, and we can talk.
Yeah. And an OT win against Dallas. So they're 3-1. They're 2 points out. You had Porter Martone's debut last night. What do you think of that, Jack?
I was really impressed with how he played in the third period. I think obviously you go from the college level to the NHL, and I'm one of those guys that actually believes that Porter Martone was playing at an NHL level in college. He had 50 points. And for people who are just like, oh, I have 50 points, what to do? Dude, he didn't have 50 points in like 70 games. He had it in like 30 to 35 games.
Right.
The college schedule is not the same. So, like, it's incredible what he did. And I thought he was playing at a really good level. My brother works with the Michigan State hockey team, so I'm watching this more often than the normal person watches college hockey. And I watch a lot of his games. He looks good, man. And the first 2 periods, getting his legs under him. I thought towards the end of the second, he had a really good chance to score, and I was impressed. I'm like, he's going to get one. Third period, he looked phenomenal. I don't know how he didn't put one in the back of the net. In the third period, just chance after chance, skating well, moving well in the offensive zone with his line mates, who, by the way, just started playing with each other that night, and they only got about a day or two of practice. So it's really tough if you're Porter Martone to build that chemistry, and it's going to be tough to do it over the last 6 to 7 games because that's normal. And then put in that you're in a playoff spot. I was really impressed with how Martone looked. I mean, at the same time, I'm not shocked because I said he was playing at an NHL level in college. But then again, that's a tough thing to do. So I'm really hopeful for Porter Martone. I think that he's going to get one. I think he's getting one tomorrow. I don't know how he goes throughout the rest of this week without getting a goal or even a point. I think he was a +1. I think he was on the ice for a goal. So, I'm happy with the effort as well and on a broader scale by the Flyers because I did like how they continued to fight back. I thought there was a ton of missed penalties. I thought the Caps were allowed to headhunt all night. But then, to that same beat, their power play did not look the same as it did in the last week. So that needs to turn around. And also, Matvei Michkov needs to be on the power play. Why are we giving Porter Martone the power play? As he should have that power play 1 nod. But why is Michkov not on it? Like, what are we doing? Are we playing, like, roulette? Are we being like, hey, I'm going to launch this little ping pong ball in here, whatever it goes into, that's what I'm going to do. I don't understand it, dude. I genuinely don't understand the hate with Matvei Michkov. However, I'm happy with how the Flyers looked for the most part. But unlike the last couple of nights, the last couple of games, I was actually able to, like, find a couple of players where I thought were like, yeah, they looked terrible. Travis Sanheim looked god-awful. I mean, he looked like he was trying to throw away the game. There's puck chases down in their own end, and he was just lollygagging. I've never seen a guy look that uninspired in a third period of a playoff race. I mean, what the heck was that? And final thing, I'm sorry, Rasmus Ristolainen. You actually look good in that game. I as much as I can be on my soapbox and get mad about them not trading him, it's unfair if I don't give him the respect he deserves after playing a game like that. Man, he single-handedly willed them back there. Incredible game from him. Need to keep that going because if I can do math correctly, and that's a big if, what do we got?
8 games.
8 games?
That's what I was going to bring up. It's
God rest my soul.
It's easy to be excited about this team after this past week, but they have a very tough 8 games ahead of them. 7 of those teams or games are with teams in the playoffs or right on the brink of them. The only one not being the Devils, but 2 games against Detroit. You have Montreal, you have Carolina, you have Boston, you have the Islanders, and Winnipeg, and then the Devils.
See, I'll play devil's advocate to that and say you have everything you need in front of you.
Yeah.
You're fighting with the Red Wings, Senators, and Islanders and Blue Jackets for these positions. What else do you want? Like we already tried this with a cupcake schedule 2 years ago, and the Flyers still blew the playoff position they had and were left out on the final night. So, all right, fair enough. I don't believe that's a thing anymore. Like, oh, I don't believe it's like, oh, it's great we have cupcakes. Yeah, but then every team's gunning for you, dude.
Right.
You're on the same level as all these teams. The Red Wings, Blue Jackets, Bruins, and Islanders. You get 3 of them in this span here of a week. I mean, that's incredible opportunity for you because you don't just win, you push them further back of you. You gain 2 whole points no matter what if you can win that night. And that's a big-time thing in the playoff race, just like it is that the Capitals won last night and got 2 points. Flyers weren't able to get any points out of that. So now it's a 1-point deficit, and now the Caps are right back in it. That was a big game last night, a lot of consequence. But at the end of the day, I do like the fact that they have these games in front of them. The problem is, the one thing that I really is putting me like with a lot of uneasiness, they don't have the tiebreaker against the Senators, and they don't get to play them again. They lost all 3 games to the Senators this year. They lost that tiebreaker convincingly. So my thing is not that, oh, I'm scared of the Senators beating us at any point. It's more so I'm scared of them beating us out with a tiebreaker. And that's where I kind of get a little uneasy, and that's why the losses last night were important. That the Senators lost and the Red Wings lost and the Blue Jackets lost. There's your mulligan. You still have a game on the Blue Jackets. You have 2 games on the Islanders. They're only 3 points back of them. Let's make that count, man. Let's make that count. Let's make it worth it that these other teams did a sacrifice for you, basically.
Yeah, well, it starts tomorrow with a back-to-back. You have Detroit and New York. So
that's the other problem. I really wish, because now I feel like they got to win these 3 games.
Yeah.
Maybe at the very least 2 of 3. But I already said heading into this week, you got to win 3 of 4 games. You got no room for error now, so that kind of sucks. But like I said, you got a mulligan last night with these teams losing. So we'll see how it turns out.
All right. Well, let's move on to the other team in Philly making their playoff push. I got the jersey on right now. The 76ers, and the band is back together. They are 2-1 since our last episode. Embiid is back. Maxey is back. Oubre is back. And Paul George is back. And I'd say Paul George and Joel Embiid have probably been the story of the week for them. Embiid, their leading point scorer in all 3 games with 35, 29, and 26. Paul George with 28, 26 when he came back, and then 19 in that loss against the Heat, which a very unfortunate loss. I'd say that fourth quarter when you're fighting back to have Paul George on the bench there was ridiculous with how he's been playing. So I'm not Nick Nurse's biggest fan, but nonetheless, they've clinched at minimum a play-in spot. They can still get that 6th seed, maybe even a 5th seed. They're 1 game back from that final playoff spot, but they're also only 1 game ahead of the Magic, who are at the 8th seed. So I think, you're going into April with a fully healthy Sixers team besides like Johnny Broom, which is whatever. But that doesn't happen with Sixers basketball, right? Yeah. So you're in a very good position if you're the 76ers to make a playoff push. They have 7 games left, 4 away, 3 of those home. 3 very tough games. You have the Wolves, the Rockets, and the Spurs, who are the hottest team in basketball. I think they're on like a 9-game win streak, which is just insane. But
I'm still trying to figure out if Joel Embiid's playing tonight. He's listed as out with an illness. So he's still listed on the injury report as out with an illness. However, Joel Embiid tweets at 1:13 p.m. Must be April Fool's joke. Played against Miami in the same conditions, and I'm planning to play tonight. # sweat it out. Well, by the way, I didn't think he looked great against Miami, so it's okay if he takes this one game off. I don't want to watch something like that again. But Joel Embiid, the troll master, is back on Twitter, and I got to say, I missed it. I really have missed this, man. Last time he was really like this was in high school. I mean, dude, he said # sweat it out. And then he had that joke about O'Neal Cruz. Get ready to learn DH, buddy. I mean, that's fantastic. I'm happy that Joel Embiid is back on Twitter in his old fun ways, because I think the problem is Joel Embiid being out, every single injury in the book, and then just hearing nothing for months got me really enraged, because it was just crickets. He's out, and everyone's just supposed to accept it. Fair enough. All right, there's something going on with Joel Embiid. He has a pulse. But, I think, to your credit, George Embiid been the story, and rightfully so. I think Paul George is come back and he hasn't really missed a beat in the games I've watched, at least. Right. I thought he has at least looked pretty good. You also got to remember, even if it's like, no, Jack, I thought he played terrible. He's coming off a 25-game suspension.
Right.
Like, you actually got to remember that. He hasn't played actual real basketball, NBA basketball in 25 games. And for those who say, oh, but he could have scrimmaged, joined the rec league. No, he couldn't have, number one, because he's Paul flipping George, and he would have gotten recognized right away. And second off, you can't simulate an NBA game.
Right.
Just like you can't simulate a real baseball game, a hockey game, a football game. You can't do that, man. It's just part of sports.
And I'm actually glad you brought that up, because in that first game, he had 2 points at halftime, and he finished with 28. A lot of those coming in garbage time, but considering you had a 20-point win, almost 160 points, like, I'm glad they gave him that time to get back, because you said it, he's coming off a 25-game suspension, and now he's getting into a rhythm. I mean, he's looking good. Hopefully we'll see playoff P. I can't lie, this is the team I'm probably most excited about in the city right now, just because I've been on the Sixers a lot longer than I've been on the Flyers. And the Phillies just are disappointing me right now.
I think it's just differing expectations. Because I think the Sixers, the expectations are much more than the Flyers.
Right.
It's like when the Sixers, this is basically the Flyers. This is basically the best of 7 series for me. Right? You got 8 games left. It'll be over in about a week and a half. Them making the playoffs is like the biggest thing that could ever happen. It's the equivalent of the Sixers making the Eastern Conference Finals. With the level of hope and excitement I have. This is big time. If they pull this out of their rear ends and make the playoffs, it is an entire massive middle finger to every single hockey reporter who writes off the Flyers. Because, oh my God, I get mad on Twitter when I see reporters just being like, oh, we're looking for a matchup with so-and-so. I'm like, the Flyers are still 2 points out. They exist. They're alive.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. So, yeah, I have a couple drafts of tweets I'm ready to send out if the Flyers make the playoffs. Oh, my God, I'm going to go nuclear. I will go nuclear on this podcast, dude. I will literally stand on this table and demand an apology from everyone. That's how excited I'll be, dude.
We might have to give an apology after last episode.
For who? No, you gotta make the playoffs first.
Well, that's what I mean.
So if they don't, I that's right. I do need to apologize, but not now.
Not yet.
Because here's the thing: if they end up losing 3 games this week, it's just like same old Flyers. You suck.
Right.
But if they win, you're like, this team's different. You got to confirm that the team is different and actually is going to not make you look like an idiot before you do anything.
And they'd be getting hot at the exact time you want them to get hot.
Irony of the whole thing is if they make the playoffs, they will have to go on continue their hot streak here.
Right.
And then whoever they play, God forbid they have a bad end to the season. That's not easy. It's not an easy series for that Eastern Conference team they play. The Eastern Conference is really strong this year. Flyers would be 6 points up on almost like 10 points up on a playoff spot in the wild card, or in the Pacific, if they were in that division right now. That is a dumpster fire, dude.
All right, well, I think besides just saying that the Sixers could probably use a 5-2 record down the stretch here would probably be optimal, and you can probably get that 5 or 6 seed.
There's 7 to go.
I mean, I don't really have much for the Eagles. They signed Joe Tyron Shanka to a 1-year deal. He's an edge rusher. He was a first-round pick going into his 6th year. 15 career sacks, which 5 of them came in 2023, and he has 2 in the past year and 0 last year.
Not terrible.
Well, not great.
Not all.
But
I hopefully it doesn't play. That's irony of it all. I will close you with this. I think the Sixers should go 5-2.
Yeah, they should.
I mean, you got Washington.
Be a tough schedule, but they have the Rockets' number. So
Washington, all right. Minnesota, you're at home.
Yeah,
let's call that a win. Detroit, we'll add that to a questionable one. San Antonio, Houston. Hey, can you win one of those?
Realistically, you can go 6-1.
Literally win one of those 3 games. Detroit, San Antonio, and Houston. Win one of those. I'm cool with it. And then Indiana, Milwaukee to end the year. I think you close that out on 2 wins. And no matter where you end up, you're going in hot. You're probably not going to be a 9 or 10. With that record, you'll be fine either in the very edge of the play-in or, believe it or not, maybe you make it in. They're only a game behind, but you got to keep on chugging, man, because if they have a 3 or 4 game slip-up, they're easily right back in the 10 spots. So please, for the love of God, do not make me suffer through a 9-10 game. If I have to suffer through a 9-10 game, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, Nick's back there smiling. He's going to enjoy it. I know you will. You're sick for that.
Just wait till we beat the Celtics in 7.
My God, if we beat the Celtics in 7, I might be even more toxic, dude. No, nothing's dropping. Let's drop this episode and move on with the Phillies. Oh, God. Take us away.
Take us away. All right,
Yeah,
well.
take us out. Take me out of this.
That'll wrap it up. I think by this time next week, it's going to be even more eventful as we'll be 1 week closer to the playoffs for the Sixers and the Flyers and 1 week deeper in this Phillies misery. So thanks for joining us on episode 6 of the 215 Sports Show. For Jack Morgan, I'm Donovan Cranage.